Am I the asshole for cutting support for my partner's family out of our budget if she becomes a stay-at-home mother? My partner, we are not married or going to get married, and I have been together for 4 years and have a son who is 5 months old. Her employer has a very generous maternity leave of 6 months, so she still has 1 more month of full pay remaining before she has to go back. We are currently dual income, and the agreement before having a kid was that we would remain a dual income household and she would go back to work after her leave, and we would put our son in a daycare near our home. My friends' kids go there and it seems to be excellent. Despite the daycare seemingly being a great fit, my partner is having cold feet about going back to work. She wants to put in her 2 weeks' notice upon return and become a stay-at-home mother. I really never wanted this situation because the thought of being a sole earner has always been very stressful to me, but she really is wanting this. Now my partner's family is mostly back in South America and she has been sending them money on a monthly basis for as long as I've known her. Anywhere from $500 to $2K a month. While figuring out if we can make things work on just my income, we are putting together a budget. I have stated that I will agree to her staying home, but I won't be sending her family income from my paycheck every month or at all. I work overtime most weeks and I refuse to work overtime just to send the money out of the country. If I'm not going to benefit from the extra work, I'd rather just have more time to relax and be with my son. My partner says this is unfair as her family is very important to her, and she's saying I'm being as about it as I should have known that supporting her family would always be part of her life, and by having a kid with her I basically signed up for that. Am I the asshole for putting my foot down and refusing to ever send them money if she's not contributing to the household income? X200B. Since people keep bringing the topic up, I am adding that we are not in a state that recognizes common law marriage or palimony, and we are not going to get legally married. Not the asshole. Your wife has to make a choice. Either be a stay-at-home mother and her family does without support, or go back to work and continuing to support her family. She is flipping the script. She has to make the sacrifice and decide. Not the asshole. $2,000 a month is a ton of money. You are being fair. If she wants to support an entirely separate family and take from her own family you and your son, then she needs to earn that income. But I also think you should talk more about how you don't want to be the sole income earner. That stress is valid and she can't just unilaterally decide that you will be. I was the breadwinner for 8 months or so while my husband was laid off and job searching, and I was so anxious. I hated it. Not the asshole to call her out on this bullshit. That supporting her family would always be part of her life, and by having a kid with her I basically signed up for that. Then she better get her ass back to work so she can support her family back home. Not the asshole. You two had an agreement. She wants to change the terms of that agreement, which is totally fine, should be an open discussion. However, the reality of the situation is that you can't sacrifice all of your time with your family in order to support her family. You're not an ATM. You're not there just to provide money. If she wants to send money to her family, that has to fit in a budget. A budget that doesn't require you to work yourself to death. Not the asshole. Supporting her family would always be part of her life. Interesting logic. Pressuring you into doing more overtime and spending less time with your infant child somehow counts as her virtuously supporting her family. I think you've found someone who can justify in their own mind anything they want for themselves as obviously the right thing to do. Not the asshole. If her family is so important, then she can continue working to support them. You knew they were part of the deal while she was working. No way I would work my butt off to support her family. Not the asshole. Your partner is being unrealistic. It's because you're a dual income household that she can afford to send money to her family. Not the asshole. Math is math. Less money in, less money out. If you are in the US, she would be making a horrible financial decision for herself if she became a stay-at-home mother while not married. She will have zero financial protection for herself if you end the relationship, and meanwhile will not be making any contributions to Social Security, or any retirement savings. There are many reasons beyond your objections why an unmarried partner should never, ever become a sir. Not the asshole. Your agreement together would be that you remain a dual-income household. If she wants to continue supporting her family, she needs to be working for it. Edit the very cynical side of me wants to say something like the fact that she's had a child with you is not her family back home's ticket. If your wife knew that this would always be an expenditure for her, why does she feel it is okay to quit her job? There are a million mothers out there that wish they could be stay-at-home mother, but it isn't feasible financially. She has a choice to make. Not the asshole. Wife is trying to have her cake and eat it too. This is not unfair. If she quits, the couple's income is reduced, so less cash to burn by sending it south. She needs to understand that if she wants to continue sending dollar, she needs to continue working. And, she needs to understand that it's not her responsibility to support them. Not the asshole. You didn't sign up for that. You signed up for a two-income household. If she wants to renegotiate to a single income, then everything is on the table. No way should you have to give up time with your son to send money to the rest of her family. No different than that she doesn't want to give up time with him for them. Not the asshole. I used to do that for my family when I worked. Once I stopped, I let them know I could no longer give them monthly help, and I don't expect my husband to do so. It wouldn't be fair. If her family overseas was important to her, she'd work to support them like you're doing for your family. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like the old bait and switch. She wants to change the agreement but does not like the consequences if it is changed. Not the asshole. Supporting her family may have always been an important part of her life, but you did sign up to it being important in your life. It's quite unfair for her to expect you to support your family as in her and your son and support hers as well. She's already going back on the agreement to keep working, so she has no right to expect you to work all those hours away from your family to give it to hers. Not the asshole. If she wants to financially support her family, great, but that's on her. If she's not working, that line item should be cut from the budget. Info: how much does your GF make at work and how much is daycare? Not the asshole. X200B. N. My partner says this is unfair as her family is very important to her. She can show just how important with her decision to go back to work. X200B. And by having a kid with her I basically signed up for that. No. You did not. You signed up to raise a kid with her. In this economy? Nah. This is a tricky situation. It always is when money is involved. It seems like she is working to send money to her family, so it makes sense that if she quits working, then her income to send to them would be cut off. It's not fair for her to want to cut your income in half, keep her lifestyle the same except stay at home, pay for baby expenses and send money to her family. I know this is common practice in the US, sending money to other countries, but this is ridiculous. Not the asshole. No, not the asshole. Not the asshole. I get that she wants to support her family, but as the sole breadwinner, your job is to support your family, meaning her and your children. You are not responsible for anyone else. Not the asshole. I get that she wants to stay with her child. 6 months is not much maternity leave, in most parts of the world, but that's a huge income hit and her family has always been sent money she earned. If she wants to keep sending money, she'll have to return to work. Info: how long does she want to stay home? 6 months maternity leave isn't really all that generous. In many countries the minimum is 12 months, and in some it's more. If it's just another 6 months, perhaps there's a compromise that can be made as long as it's doable financially. For example, she gets 6 additional months, but limits her monthly amount to family to be $500 rather than $2,000.